Maurice sat alone at the corner table of the Nebula Lounge, nursing his third glass of Proxima whiskey. The ice clinked against the glass as he swirled it absently, watching the amber liquid catch the dim bioluminescent light that pulsed through the station's walls. He'd been stood up. Again, the veteran soldier checked his wrist comm for the fifth time in 10 minutes. Nothing. His supposed date, another human from the agricultural sector, had simply never shown up. He should have known better than to let his crew mates talk him into this. 3 years since the war ended, and Maurice still couldn't figure out how to navigate the peacetime world, let alone the complicated dance of dating on a multi-species space station. He was about to signal for the check when a shadow fell across his table. Maurice Chen, a melodious voice, layered with harmonic undertones that no human throat could produce, spoke his name that he looked up and froze. Standing before him was a Calithian woman, her crystalline skin reflecting the lounge's ambient light in prismatic patterns. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with elongated limbs that moved with an almost liquid grace. Her eyes, 3 of them arranged in a triangular pattern on her face, glowed with a soft violet luminescence. Ah yes, Maurice managed, his soldier's instinct to assess threats warring with his confusion. I am Anastasia. She gestured to the empty chair across from him. May I sit? I believe there has been a clerical error with the matching algorithm. Morris's mind raced. The dating service he'd reluctantly signed up for was supposed to be human only. That was the whole point. Less complicated. Less chance of cultural misunderstandings. Less chance of accidentally offending someone whose species might take insult as a declaration of war. I think there's been a mistake, he said carefully, his diplomatic training from officer school kicking in. I was matched with someone else. Yes, Catherine Williams. Anastasia remained standing, her posture perfectly straight in the way Calithians maintained themselves, like living sculptures. She was matched with me as well. The algorithm, it seems, created a triangle. Is that the correct geometric term? Despite himself, Maurice felt a smile tugging at his lips. That's the term. So Catherine was supposed to meet both of us. Indeed. She has sent messages to us both, approximately 7 minutes ago, indicating she has decided not to attend. Anastasia tilted her head, a gesture that seemed curious despite the alien features. I came anyway. I was curious. Curious about what? About you, Maurice Chin. The algorithm matched us with an 87% compatibility rating. Quite high, considering our species. Maurice leaned back in his chair, studying her. During the war, he'd fought alongside 3 different Calithian regiments. He'd seen them in battle. Fierce, strategic, utterly fearless. But he'd never socialized with one. The cultural barriers seemed too vast. How does a computer program decide a human and a Calithian are compatible? He asked. Anastasia finally sat, her movements elegant and deliberate. May I show you? At his nod, she pulled up a holographic display from her own wrist-comm data streams flowed between them, casting blue light across both their faces. We both served in the Epsilon campaign, she began, her voice taking on a softer quality. You were a tactical officer. I was a fleet coordinator. We both received commendations for protecting civilian evacuations under fire. Morris's chest tightened. He remembered Epsilon. The screaming civilians, the impossible choices, the nightmares that still woke him at 0300 hours. We both, Anastasia continued, indicated on our profiles that we struggle with the silence of peace, that we feel disconnected from those who did not serve, that we prefer directness to ambiguity, loyalty to passion, and companionship to romance. She looked up from the display, her 3 eyes fixing on him with an intensity that should have been unsettling, but somehow wasn't. The algorithm, she said quietly, matched us on our scars, not our species. Maurice felt something shift in his chest. He'd been so focused on finding someone who looked like him, who came from the same world, that he'd never considered someone who might actually understand what he'd been through. You still get the dreams? He asked, his voice rough. Every night cycle. Anastasia's crystalline skin dimmed slightly, a sign of emotion in Calithians. I see the ships I couldn't save. The coordinates I transmitted too late. I see the soldiers I sent into ambushes, Maurice admitted. The calls I made that sent people home in body bags. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of shared grief settling between them like a tangible thing. This is a terrible first date conversation, Maurice finally said, and to his surprise, he laughed. A real laugh, the first in months that Anastasia's skin brightened, prismatic light dancing across the table. Calithians do not believe in false cheerfulness. We believe in truth-speaking. This conversation is honest. That makes it good, not terrible. Maurice signaled the server. Can we get 2 more drinks? And maybe some of those Centauri dumplings. You wish to continue this date? Anastasia asked, and Maurice thought he detected something like hope in her harmonic voice. Yeah, he said, meeting her three-eyed gaze steadily. I do. I think maybe the algorithm knew something I didn't. What is that? That compatible doesn't mean the same. It means understanding. Anastasia reached across the table, her crystalline hand hovering near his scarred human one. In Calithian culture, we have a saying, the strongest alloys are forged from different metals. Maurice placed his hand in hers, feeling the cool, smooth texture of her skin, so different from his own. We've got a similar saying, unity through diversity. Perhaps, Anastasia said, her skin glowing warm in the dim light. Our peoples have more in common than we realized. As the evening stretched on, Maurice discovered that she loved ancient Earth literature, that she'd taught herself to cook human food as a hobby, and that she had a dry sense of humor that caught him off guard and made him laugh until his sides hurt. When they finally left the Nebula Lounge hours later, Maurice realized that for the first time since the war ended, he felt like he'd come home. Not to a place, but to a person who understood. Sometimes, he thought, the best matches are the ones you never expect.